So different LINC programs across Canada deal with teaching English to refugees and multi-barriered clients in different ways. At ISS of BC, we developed a curriculum because we do have classes where these kinds of clients will be clustered together. So we have built a curriculum to help our teachers learn how to deal with these refugees to help them be the most successful. So these guidelines include reducing class sizes. We often have class sizes that are for lower levels about 15, for higher levels about 18, but elsewhere in Canada could be as high as 30 students. So for the multi-barriered clients, reducing class sizes as low as our funder will let us go, which can be as low as 8, but usually maybe about 12. That's one of the strategies. We also encourage the teachers to be a little bit more flexible with the client's attendance. In LINC, clients are required to attend at least 80% of classes. If they don't, they can be asked to exit the program until they're in a position where they can continue to learn, continue to come on a regular basis. And teachers are also guided to adopt some relaxation techniques within their classes to help relax students, such as breathing, positive breathing techniques, positive visualization, and we also encourage them to offer smaller chunks of learning with breaks so that the learners have time to process what they've just learned. Building trusting relationships with students is critical in all language classes, but it's even more critical in classes with refugees and with learners that have low literacy levels. So these are some other strategies that we have in the curriculum. So viewing the learner holistically, and many people have already talked about that, viewing the learner, knowing their background and their challenges, and being able to adapt the class in order to accommodate those kinds of things. Working on oral fluency before introducing the written language, that really helps with these kinds of learners. Grouping learners so that they have time to work independently. We use a technique we call it stations, where they're able to move around the room to different areas and work independently on something that they're really struggling with. A lot of recycling and repetition of content so that they have a chance to put that in their memory if they're forgetting. Kinesthetic or whole body learning, where learners can touch and feel and move in order to help that reinforce the vocabulary and the structures they're using. Using manipulatives like cards, flashcards and things like that, and also what we call realia, so bringing in actual clothes if you're teaching clothes, actual food if you're teaching food boxes, that kind of thing. Differentiated learning, where in the classroom we might have learners who are expected to achieve different things. So we might have different worksheets for different types of learners. And giving them classroom readiness skills, like spending time actually organizing their binders, or helping them to learn how to phone in if they're going to miss class or if they're going to be late, so that they can use those skills. Classroom routines. This is one of the things that we do in all lower level classes, but really particularly in these classes, is develop routines that the learners can depend upon. So the class starts the same way all the time. The way that you group students is similar, the way that you hand out things is similar. So as they become used to the classroom routine, they can relax, because instead of having to listen to the instructions, they know what the teacher expects, and they can just fall into that routine. And then they start thinking about what they're going to learn, as opposed to just the mechanism of just moving around. And those students can the ones who are in the classes can gain confidence, because when a new student comes in, they're often asked to teach the classroom routine to the new student, so they gain confidence that way. And the last is cognitive development. So some learners need to develop cognitive skills, not because they lack intelligence, but again, because they've had interrupted learning. So teaching them things like recognizing patterns, sequencing, classifying items, and problem solving, so that they look at problems from multiple angles. So as I said at the beginning, not all of the refugees coming to Canada are literacy or multi-barriered learners, especially for our ones who are privately sponsored. Many of them are actually very well educated and professionals. But the refugees, but these refugees are not singled out in our other classes. They just merge with the other immigrants that are in class, those level of classes. And they learn with the same methods, the same pacing, the same expectations of the other immigrants. But for the government-sponsored refugees who've experienced trauma and who have low levels of literacy due to interrupted learning, we find this curriculum has been very effective in meeting their needs.